This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Oh yeah, it is Friday on the After Party Live, and the Mark Thompson Show did run a little long today, but that's okay. We have a full show for you today as well. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. It is a day of love, and I know, I'll get a little corny. I do feel like this show is a little bit of a love letter from me to you, you to me, whatever it is. I just feel the love and all the support from everybody on this show, and I'm very grateful. So happy Valentine's Day to you, and I'm super, super excited because, I live for it on Fridays. It is At the Movies with Tim Sika, and I love this segment. Last week, Tim was off doing very, very important things, and today we have him back. At the Movies with Tim Sika, we begin. Hi, Tim. You're a fancy superstar.
Oh, geez. Hi, Kim. you're a fancier superstar, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah. I've been busy. I've been in LA for a while, and which is why I couldn't make the show last week. I attended the Critics' Choice Association Awards at the Barker Hangar in Los Angeles, and because of the fires, they had to keep changing the dates. For the dates and the times for the show. So it actually, I was planning on doing your show live, but it worked out to where I actually had to be there from like 1 o'clock on. So it didn't even give us an opportunity to tape. So anyway, it was a crazy week, but I'm glad to be back.
Oh my gosh, that's
me. Oh geez, look at that.
You look so good in your tuxedo.
Oh
geez. Sharp. Wow.
Well, I did this was the first year I rented a different tuxedo. I usually rent this, looks like a monkey suit, with the white shirt. Sure. This was like dark, and I thought, oh, this looks kind of like, Godfather-ish. So I thought, I liked the way I looked in it. So I said, I'll take the Godfather tux this year. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing.
Nice. I love it. And you posted some pictures, which I stole from Facebook with your approval.
Oh yeah.
Inside of you say the Barker Hangar, but boy, they really made it look pretty.
They did. They really did. And we got there early because we were advised to. I mean, it's crazy. The event's gotten so huge. There were so many people there that they need to do it at the Barker Hangar because it's the only way to accommodate all the celebrities and all the studios tables and all that stuff. But yeah, we managed to squeak in there actually before right when they opened up. So I was able to get a photo of what you see now. It was so pretty in there. You didn't want the lights to go on, and of course they eventually had to during the telecast, but yeah, it looks really pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought so too. Oh, those are my tickets. Yeah,
I love the color scheme, the kind of the gold and navy, really nice.
Yeah. And they're really, I mean, the folks over there are awfully nice to us critics. They really treat us so well. I mean, you really feel special, at least one time during the year. I mean, it was a great show. It was a little subdued. I know it was broadcast live on E, and I think it's now on Peacock. I think you can watch it. And I think the following day it was broadcast on Peacock. But the show is a little more subdued than normal because of the fires. And a lot of first responders to the LA fires were actually invited a lot of members gave up their seats so that the first responders could come. So a lot of the show was acknowledging what they did, and I mean, it was still glittery and celebrity and all that stuff, but it was more subdued than in recent years, appropriately so, I think, because it needed to be, Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had a good time, and I am delighted to have you back. So let's start with our movies, and the first one is kind of one of these blockbustery movies. We have Captain America.
Yeah.
Brave New World.
Brave New World, the fourth installment of the Captain America series, and something like, Kim, I think it's like the 35th Marvel superhero film. I mean, that just hurts my head when I think of it. Anyway, I think the only way to continue looking at these superhero franchise IP films is to basically just say, well, here's another one, here's another one. This time, The plot involves politics and a U.S. president, played by Harrison Ford, who's trying to negotiate these trade deals with different nations involving this metal called adamantium or something, which is something to do with Wolverine's claws. I mean, I think it's some metal alloy that allows Wolverine's claws, who's not in the movie, by the way, to come out. Anyway, the world building of these Marvel and DC superhero movies is eternally complex. So anyway, yes. So yes, here's another one of these Marvel superhero movies. And I found this one, at least for the first hour, to be reasonably entertaining. But, after the first hour, you kind of wish it would just end. You kind of feel trapped in the damn thing and feeling the need to escape. Geez. I think what makes this movie palatable are the actors. Anthony Mackie plays Captain America. Sam Wilson is his name, but Giancarlo Esposito is in this. Harrison Ford is in this. They more or less somehow make the whole thing palatable. Although the reaction to fans on this movie has been really negative, from what I can tell. I guess the studio did multiple test screenings and people kept being thumbs down on it. So the filmmakers kept editing and re-editing and making changes to the movie. And this is the one they finally agreed to release. But audiences were still not liking it. And I don't see this movie as bad. I don't see it's not bad by any stretch. I just think audiences are oversaturated with these kinds of movies. Who even knows if there's anywhere else for them to go, really, when you think about it? But they keep making them and they keep going there because they're almost guaranteed money makers. But it's like superhero fatigue. Yeah. And when I see and hear of the bad word of mouth from fans a film like this gets, it only succeeds in reminding me that it's a constant mystery to me what fans actually want from these movies. I mean, this one anyway seems to have appeared to have at least checked all the boxes in terms of what fans expect. So I don't know. At this point, I kind of want someone to write me a prayer as a film critic that I can say before I attend any future screenings of the latest DC or Marvel movie, something like, God, please save me from having to review another one of these movies. I don't know what to say about them anymore. I thought this one was okay,
You know what I have to say is that I love Harrison Ford when he plays the President of the United States.
Yes.
In Air Force One, like that harkens back to like some classic 80s movies for me.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's Harrison Ford back in the Oval Office.
Yeah. And
I'm not a big like Marvel thing person, but
you make a good point, because I was going to say this and I forgot, but Ford he plays the president, but it's a different kind of president. And he's quite good here. He's up in years, but he's really giving his all here. He plays the president, but he's a very complicated man. There's issues with his daughter who won't speak to him. And he's still got it, man. He commands the screen at every turn, and he's in most of the film. So yeah, for the reason, yes, see it for Harrison Ford. You really, if you're a Harrison Ford fan, I mean, he was great in this. I'm watching him and I'm going, God, does this guy ever, it never seems like he's going to quit. And he's still got that screen presence and he's still got the talent. And he's great. So yes, worth seeing for Harrison Ford.
Recommended?
Yeah. Recommended for it? Yes, let's recommend it. Yeah. Okay.
Recommended.
Recommended.
Paddington in Peru.
Yeah. Yes. This is another Paddington movie. I think it's Paddington is a marmalade-loving bear, and this is the third movie, and it's a successful franchise. It's based on the British children's books by Michael Bond. There's 29 of these have been published. 29 Paddington books. You have kids? Are you guys familiar with them, with the books?
No. Well, yeah, we know Paddington. We've watched the movies. I didn't read these books to my kids, although they were read to me when I was young.
Oh, okay,
so they've been around for a long time. I remember Paddington Bear. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's been an animated television series too, and a stage musical based on this character. But anyway, now we have Paddington in Peru, and I like these movies. I think they're really sweet. sweet and cute. And this third Paddington movie is no exception. I mean, I think they're charming and sweet and entertaining and colorful movies for the entire family. But anyway, in this one, Paddington in Peru, the plot is that a beloved aunt of Paddington, I think her name was Aunt Lucy. She lives in this retirement home run by nuns in Peru. She disappears one day, and so Paddington, a bear, who's in England or London, I think, London, England, along with his family, the Browns, they go in search of her because they got to find her because Paddington is so close to her and blah blah blah. So it's an action adventure story too, this latest one, with gorgeous Peruvian photography and a superb British cast that includes Hugh Bonneville, of Downton Abbey,
Yeah.
who I heard was recently in town in San Francisco. I heard with his new girlfriend, I'm told, for the Mostly British Film Festival, where they screened this movie. I missed it, but anyway, I heard he was in town. And anyway, Emily Mortimer is in this movie, Julie Walters, Jim Broadbent, Olivia Colman plays this nun. She plays the Mother Superior who runs the retirement home where Paddington's aunt is living. And she's obviously having a blast, just mugging it for the camera. I mean, she sings the title tune in an all too obvious visual nod to The Sound of Music. I mean, I know they're spoofing The Sound of Music when she's on, in the mountains and twirling. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cute movie. I think it's a sweet movie. It's another charming movie in the series. The script's maybe a bit thin when you compare it to the previous two movies, but the charm of the piece and the great British cast and the adventure aspects of the story outweigh any thinness of story line, in my opinion. So I recommend it. I don't know. Do you like the Paddington movies? Do your kids like the Paddington movies?
Yeah, we've watched the Paddington movies. I have a question though.
Yes.
I mean, it's a kids movie, and they're kind of,
a little
stories, and I just wonder how they attract these big name actors to this kind of a movie. You must get a big fat paycheck for doing Paddington in Peru.
Yeah. Well, for one, because the series is successful, I think they can afford to pay these actors. It's a British film, so it's gonna attract British actors.
Sure.
A lot of these actors are of a certain age too, where they're probably not being offered the number of roles that they've been offered in the past. So maybe they're willing to work for something less than their usual fee. I don't know, but yeah. How do they attract them? I don't know. Maybe a good producer would be able to get them at a good price. But I know Olivia Colman probably commanded the highest price because she's an Oscar winner. Or actually, there was a couple of Oscar winners in this, but she's a very recent Oscar winner. So maybe the lion's share of the actors' salaries went to her. Who knows? But
I tend to think that this movie would make as much money at the theaters with unknowns in the roles as with famous actors, because people that are going to see it are families that parents take their kids to this movie, and kids don't care who's in the movie, really.
No, I don't think they do. No, and that's just something that the old Disney movies like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Cinderella and Pinocchio and Bambi, they were voiced by people that were brilliantly cast to play those roles, but they weren't stars.
Right.
I never liked that these animated movies boast Julia Roberts and Jack Nicholson and blah blah blah, because to me that takes me out of the story. Sometimes I'm going, wait, I haven't noticed Jack Nicholson's voice. What character is he playing? And that really, I agree with you. It shouldn't have anything to do with it, but because it's economics now. It's I guess it would make some people go to see the movie, maybe some adults. So you're right. I don't think the kids care at all. But
so I agree
don't know.
that they got the talent to do it, but I think they might be throwing their money away on Oscar winners for a Paddington in Peru. But that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I get the other two have made money, so they're banking on this being just a success. Just
we're going to go with recommended on this one, Tim.
Yeah, we're going to recommend Paddington in Peru. Yeah, it's a cute movie. I like these movies. Yeah.
This next one is called Parthenope.
Actually, it's pronounced Parthenope.
Really?
Parthenope. Now,
Okay.
I believe Michael Snyder may have reviewed this movie last week on the
I
Mark Thompson show,
did.
as it opened in LA last Friday, but it is now
Yeah.
opening today in the Bay Area and select Bay Area theaters.
Okay.
Okay, Parthenope. I mean, really, what the hell title for a movie, right? I mean, can you get any more what the hell? I mean, Parthenope. What is that?
Well, I
What
would
I
have
mean, would you,
thought Parthenope, like maybe a Greek goddess or god or something.
actually they pronounce it Parthenope, and she
Yeah.
said it turns out to be the name of the main character in the movie, played by
Okay.
Stefania Sandrelli. And what this movie is, basically, it's a kind of coming of age tale about this woman. It follows her. It follows her from her birth to 2023, from 1950 to 2023. And that's about the most I can say for this movie. Full disclosure here, Kim, I am not a fan of Paolo Sorrentino's films. He's the director of this. He wrote it. He came to prominence in the U.S. with this movie called The Great Beauty, which actually won Best Foreign Language Film at the '86 Academy Awards. I don't know. I don't know what the Academy members were smoking when they voted for this movie, because I found it to be a narratively psychotic, beautifully shot, but empty movie. This guy knows how to photograph movies really well. They're really beautiful, but I don't even know what they're about half the time, which is the best way. This is the best way to describe all of his movies. He did this other movie called Youth. Um, Jane Fonda was in it. And it's got to be one of the worst movies I think I have ever seen. And I only say that because, in contrast, all of this guy's movies, Paolo Sorrentino's movies, they receive all kinds of irrational and reactive love from most movie critics. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on, and I challenge that. So there's no persuasive arguments that exist, in my opinion, to justify saying that this guy's movies, like this one, this Parthenope, other than knowing how to photograph them, are any good. The scripts, for one, the scripts are all wrong-headed. They're absent of anything literally substantial that would connect one scene to the next. And Parthenope, while still belonging in that category of bad films, I will say it's typically beautifully shot, but it's also rambling, it's incoherent, it's arbitrary, it's lugubrious. The symbolism is vague, it doesn't work. It's basically all style, no substance, with dumb observations about life and love. I mean, this is Valentine's Day. Maybe this is why it's being, maybe this is a Valentine's Day movie for people to go to see. But there was a line that was so dumb. Something about, like, desire is a mystery and sex. Yeah, desire is a mystery and sex is its funeral. Now, what the hell is that? I mean,
Fire is a mystery,
and sex is sex is
funeral?
sex
Because
is, yeah.
sex kills desire. So once
Yeah,
you
but
have sex with the person, you no longer desire them.
I don't know. But if desire is a mystery, then you're saying that the mystery is the funeral. It really, maybe I overthink what this guy's saying
The
all the
sex
time.
kills the mystery.
I guess, but
I
then
don't know.
I get whatever. Anyway, it's impossible for me to be objective about this movie. I think the director should be compiling art books instead of making movies like this. I think it's a bad movie. I think it's his best, though. It's the least annoying to me of all his movies. It's not saying much, but yeah. I mean, see it if you want to, but if you ask me, and since you're asking me, I say just don't bother. I saw it with critics, and after I saw it with a bunch of critics, and afterwards they said, okay, guys, what did you think? Because I had all these issues about the narrative, and I said, this doesn't make sense. What the hell is this about? Blah blah. And they're just like, oh, but it's so beautiful, and the actress is so beautiful. And I'm going, okay, I get it. I get that. I get it. But what about the movie? Well,
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe I think about these things too much, but movie drove me crazy. Anyway, I'm sounding redundant here. Don't go see it, folks. But if it sounds like something you might like, go see it.
We'll skip it. We'll skip Parthenope.
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 Parthenope. Oh,
Parthenope
God.
is a big old nope.
It's a big old nope. Yes, thank you.
All right, we are on to the next one. It's called Armand.
Armand, yeah, a not entirely successful movie, but still compelling. Very compelling it is. It's a Swedish drama, And this one has an interesting pedigree. It was written and directed by Halfdan Ullman Tondel, whose grandparents are Norwegian actress Liv Ullmann and Swedish filmmaker Ingmar Bergman. So that's interesting. That grabbed my attention right away. I thought, oh, let's see if it's still in the family. And this young actor, I mean, this young director here is, any good. And yeah, so it's a drama. It's a kind of thriller. It stars the brilliant Swedish stage and film actress Renata Reinsva, who's I think that's her, yeah, in the poster, as the mother of a 6-year-old boy. There's been a troubling incident between her son and another boy at school, and so the parents are called in to address the situation and to address what actually happened. But it transpires, right, that based on what is known and what is unknown, and what we think we know, it transpires that we become not too sure what happened. And from there, the movie takes you on quite a ride. This is a very ambitious first effort by the filmmaker, exploring themes about perception and individual realities and boundaries and gossip, about the harm that gossip can cause, and getting to the truth of something and how tricky that could be, especially when you have, people with agendas and people with preconceived ideas. I mean, it's really interesting. The first hour I thought was superb, but the second half went off the rails in terms of, well, what am I seeing, and what is going on here, and the ending was as obtuse and abstractly symbolic as they come. So I'm not sure what it was going for in the second half. It didn't seem like it was picking up on some of the ideas that it was presenting in the first half. So it's interesting. I had a chance to interview the star of the film last week, Renata Reinsva, the other day. And I asked her without talking about the ending, can you even allude symbolically what the final 10 minutes of the movie even meant? She couldn't. Which I thought was really interesting, or maybe she just was being coy and refused to because she didn't feel like she could comment on that without revealing the ending. Sure. But she's the reason to see the film. She plays an actress and the mother of this boy, and there's a scene where she's required. This out of context might not sound anything, but in context of the movie, it's kind of mind blowing. She's required to laugh for nearly 7 sustained minutes. And watching that, it's an astonishingly brilliant bit of technical acting. So for that scene alone, I recommend this movie. Is it really 7 minutes of her laughing? Do we have to what happens in the movie is she's presented with all this stuff, and I think she kind of like sees the absurdity of it, but it goes from this like she can't stop laughing, and she's actually interfering with this inquest, and she can't stop laughing. But then it sort of segues into these like deep sobs. It's just brilliant. She should get an Academy Award just for that scene alone. But anyway, I'm just not sure if the film completely works. I saw in anticipation of. I knew I had to interview the actress. I watched it again, and it seemed to play a little better. But I'm still unsure if it all adds up. It's kind of a mess. It's messy, but on balance, I have to recommend it. Not only for its attempt to deal with, important issues, about life and perception and all that, but just for the acting, I would recommend it because the acting is superb, and it's provocative. So. Yeah, it opens in the Bay Area, in Bay Area theaters today. And, go see it with a friend or friends, but then don't disperse when it's over. Go out for coffee and talk about it. And,
I love that.
Yeah. So that Armand is a good movie to do that with.
Your streaming options this week include Hollywood Black.
Yeah, Hollywood Black is a fascinating 4-hour miniseries on the history of Black cinema. It's directed and hosted by Dear White People's writer-director Justin Simeon, and it explores, it explores like such questions as what exactly is a black movie? What role did African Americans play in the development of cinema, and which is rarely talked about today or largely forgotten. The series was inspired by this film historian. His name was Donald Bogle. He's in the film, but he wrote a book of the same name. And this movie explores, the roles that African Americans played and continue to play in the motion picture industry today. Luminary careers like those of Diana Ross and Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, a guy named Burt Williams, who most people never heard of. He was an inspiration to people like Charlie Chaplin. And Sidney Poitier's discussed, Oscar Michaud, Berry Gordy, Robert Townsend. I mean, Marlon Riggs. It's an embarrassment of riches, really, this series. And suffice it to say that you will learn a lot watching this series, and that Hollywood Black is just it's fascinating. It explores a deeply fascinating cinematic history that a lot of people do not know about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good, and it's fast paced. It really moves. And so I think it's like about 4 1-hour episodes, maybe. Yeah.
And this is what, MGM Plus? Oh, it's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime. Yeah. I mean, It's amazing the things you find. There's no time to watch all this stuff, but it's amazing what you find. I think it came out at the end of last year, so it's just a couple of months old, 6 weeks old.
I love these recommendations, because sometimes when you see all the little squares of all the things that are available and you don't know what's what, it's good to have something that you're gravitating toward, or that you're interested in, and so. That's why
it's interesting, because when I did that, and I went to Amazon Prime, this was the first thing that popped up. So they may have just acquired it. It may have had maybe some kind of theatrical release to qualify for awards, but it is relatively new. So, but anyway, excellent. And again, it was one of those ones I put on, and I watched the first episode. I watched this, and then I thought, oh God, I'm just going to watch the rest of this and
just do it all.
Yeah, do it all. So it's very good, very worth seeing.
Next one is called Win or Lose. It looks like a kids movie.
I was invited just this past Wednesday to the Pixar Studios in Emeryville. Oh. It's a magic place, by the way, to check out the first 4 episodes. There are 8 in total of this new animated television series produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Disney Plus. And this is the first time Pixar has ever produced any of their trademark goodies for a streaming service. Their movies always go directly to theaters and are made for viewing in theaters, but this is the first time they've made something specifically for streaming. And it's an animated sort of 8-part a half hour each episode, I think, is about this animated series called Win or Lose. It's really terrific, and it's about a co-ed middle school softball team called the Pickles. I'd love to be on a team called the Pickles. Awesome. And it's so funny because I watched these episodes. They showed us 4 of them, and I went in there, and there were a couple other critics there, but I went in there, and there was this like person, I guess, in a Pickles. It was like one of those Disney figures, those people that wear the heads and everything, was dancing around, and everybody's going, Pickles, Pickles, and I'm going, why do they know who Pickles is? Well, it turned out that the people that were in the theater watching it were the filmmakers. They were the voice actors. Yeah. So they knew what it was. But I'm going, what the hell is Pickles? But I thought, that what a great name for a team to be on, right? And anyway, the show depicts the week leading up to the team's big championship game from different perspectives of the people participating. In one episode, it's the kids that are playing. Another episode, it's the parents. Another episode, it's the coaches, etc. It's sort of like, it's like Rashomon, only it's Pixar doing this, which means this, they're on this emblematic on-screen display of their own unique and distinctive brand of presenting their worlds through their own unique and kind of sparkly and particular brand of storytelling. Pixar never ceases to amaze me Kim, they've cracked a code, so to speak, of storytelling that if you're familiar with the brand, you can always identify it as Pixar. But the creative and talented folks over there, they just keep topping themselves. And how they do that, it blows my mind. Their creativity appears to be boundless. And it's yet again on full display here in this new series, which debuts next week. I think it's Wednesday, February 19th, I believe, on Disney Plus. It's called Win or Lose, and it's funny, and it's it's cute. It's surprising. The twists and turns that the story takes are like very, very funny, and it's well worth one's binge time, and it's perfect for the family. Perfect for the family. It's fun. The kids will love all the gags, and the adults will love the sophistication of just some of the one-liners. It's really, really good.
Do some critics bring their kids to these kind of showings?
Well, there were no kids to this. This was a kind of a Tony event. There may have been one boy there, but it was very Tony. They had a reception afterwards. Oh my
fancy.
God. Oh God, the food. Oh my God. I mean, the food was better than anything they ever served me at the Ritz. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so yes,
next
sometimes
time you go to one of these events where they do take kids, when you could go to Pixar, and what a once in a lifetime thing to happen. I'm sending my kids with you. I'm just
okay. Well, they will often have screenings designed for kids and designed for you to invite kids. So seriously, next one, we can work it out, and
we and Jacob can go see a movie together.
Absolutely. How cool would that be, right?
Very cool.
Really.
After the movie, you'll be like, okay, so Jacob, what did you think?
Yes, and we can have a powwow. Yeah.
Your classic movie recommendation of the week is Inherit the Wind. I have not heard of this movie.
Oh, yeah. I know why you haven't. We'll get to that. But this is a film I love so much that debuted on movie screens 65 years ago. And watching it, I've seen it many times. I watched it again recently. It is more relevant than ever. It's directed by the great Stanley Kramer. It's based on the 1955 play of the same name. And it's a kind of a dramatic parable that fictionalizes the 1925 Scopes monkey trial as a way and a means to sort of like discuss McCarthyism. Now that's what I got out of it. But the dramatic gist of the film really is critical of creationism. It's critical of evangelical fervor. It's critical of organized religion. It's critical of unexamined beliefs and the refusal, inability, and or unwillingness to change one's perception in view of the established facts. So it's pretty relevant to what's unfolding politically right now in this country. And it stars two-time Oscar winner Spencer Tracy, there he is over there, as the atheist lawyer patterned after Clarence Darrow, and defender of a teacher played by Dick York, who played Darren in Bewitched.
I was going to say, there's Darren in Bewitched. That's what I know
him.
about this movie.
And that's Gene Kelly on the left, Spencer Tracy on the right. Anyway, this guy that he defends taught Darwin's theory of evolution to a high school science class, which was contrary at the time to a Tennessee state law, saying you're not going to teach, Darwin in our schools because it's the devil, right? Two-time Oscar winner Frederick March plays the prosecuting attorney, modeled after William Jennings Bryan. So even though, that's him in the middle, it's a bit a hammy performance, but I've never seen Frederick March act like this before. I think to the left there is his real life wife, who plays his wife in the movie. I think her name was Frances Aldridge. Anyway, so even though there are many strong scenes outside of the courtroom, scenes that were added from the play and scenes which makes the film, in my opinion, superior to the play, this is primarily a courtroom drama. It's so good. You have probably not heard of it because it was not a box office hit when it opened at all. In fact, it was considered a box office disaster. I suspect because it was 1960 and it directly criticized organized religion, but it's brilliantly acted. It's arguably Spencer Tracy's greatest screen performance. And watching Tracy and Frederick March, in fact, go toe to toe in the courtroom, it's so riveting. You're on the edge of your seat. It's hugely entertaining. It's provocative. It's dramatically powerful and thematically timeless. And it's a movie that more than holds its own and holds up 65 years after it was released. In some ways, you could even say that it was kind of prescient in its own way. Like it was like letting you know maybe down the line what could happen if people just got stupid, and what is happening now because people are being really stupid. And so anyway, if you are so interested and so inclined, you can check it out on, I think it's on Pluto TV. I think it's on Tubi. And I think those are free services. And then I think it's on Amazon Prime as part of your subscription. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for nothing. But it's just, I love the way they used to make movies. You know, they were about characters and real people and you know, everyday life and drama. And this movie is just amazing. It's just really, it's one when you turn it on and you turn it on, you can't, good. Oh, good. Yeah, you should watch it and let me know what you think.
I'm interested in that. It sounds fascinating. And Cindy agrees, saying Inherit the Wind is excellent. Tracy and all actors great, sadly still relevant today. Science thought to be bad still. Well, we're seeing right now the wipeout of science and information and new studies and research and all of these things. So maybe they were prescient. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's what I've always liked it, and I've always thought it was kind of timeless in what it was trying to say. But watching it again recently, my God, it seems like it was written last week because it's so relevant to science is bad. Science is evil. You know, you just have to accept, you know, God and what we tell you is the truth, and ignore anything that may contradict that, especially science, which usually at least at one point will contradict a belief, because the belief becomes knowledge then. You know, anyway, I could go on and on about it, but I love it. I love this movie. I think the watchers to your show will like it too if they give it a try.
Tammy says it's free on Pluto too, and Teacher Lori says it's free on Tubi. So that's great.
Good. There we go. Yeah. Inherit the Wind.
Cece says, love Stanley Kramer. It's a mad, mad, mad world. One of my faves.
Yeah, that's a really good. Stanley Kramer actually made that movie because he was criticized by the Hollywood establishment that he always made way too serious movies. So he said, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to make the greatest and longest comedy ever made." And that is one of the greatest and longest comedies ever made. That is a funny movie. Ethel Merman is in it. Spencer Tracy's in it. He has like a cameo, but it is a hilarious movie about these people who are like, they're all going after what they think is this treasure. And they're all in a group, but it's about how, you know, people will start to mistrust other people, thinking like, oh, they're really not, they're not on the level. When we find this treasure, they're going to want it all themselves, or they're going to try to kill me or whatever. So it turns into this total mayhem of hilarious slapstick comedy. It's a great movie. It's a great movie too, but it's so different. Kramer made films about social issues. He made Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which was the first movie to deal with black and white relationships. He made a movie called Ship of Fools, which was based on the Kathleen Porter novel, just about the stupidity of the species. The Defiant Ones he made, which was a racial drama. Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis play two convicts who are chained together, who escape prison, but the one is a racist. So they kind of like, you know, don't have anywhere to go because they're chained. Great movie. He's made some really excellent social dramas. But anyway, that's why he made It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. He said, you know, I'm just going to get silly and, you know, let my hair down and make a really funny movie.
I have some comments and a recap, although I know I'm keeping you a long time. But Teacher Lori says, Tim, Hulu series Paradise, new season Reacher. Fox series documentary. She's giving you some suggestions
Yeah,
also.
yeah. I gotta re-up my Hulu. That's the only reason I'm not doing anything on Hulu.
Mhm.
I gotta re-up it. But anyway, okay. Thanks for the
She says
suggestions.
also, a classic movie suggestion she has for you is Network.
Oh God, Network. Didn't we? I think I can't. We might have already recommended that movie. If we
Uh-huh.
haven't, I'm to blame. That's one of the great movies of all time. Yeah.
Mama
Talk.
Mastomenos is asking if there's any chance you'll review Johann Sacre Bleu.
Johann Sacre Blue. I don't know what that is. I'll
I
have to
don't
check it
either.
out. I will. I will check that out. Yeah, it's the first time I'm hearing about it. I tend to kind of wait till the week of because we get
Mhm.
so many early notices about these movies. You can't remember everything. And so you go, okay, so what's coming out this week? Okay, I need to review this, and this. And this is the first time I'm hearing about it, but I'll check it out for sure. Yeah.
A lot of love for Harrison Ford from Citizen Morgan. Judy says it's wonderful that Ford is still making films. And
Yeah.
Teacher Lori says Harrison Ford is great in Apple TV's Plus series
Yeah,
Shrinking.
so I hear. Yeah. I
Oh.
have to re-up my Apple TV subscription too. Yeah, I mean, really, are they taking us or what?
They are
God
taking us.
dang. I am
All
spending
right.
so much. Anyway,
No, it's
yes.
true. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't possibly have subscribed to every single one.
I
Uh,
know.
Captain America, you said another one, but it's reasonably entertaining. You were ready for it to be over after about an hour. Not bad, good acting, and you recommend it because of that.
Yes.
Paddington in Peru, you say it's cute, it's sweet, a little thin on the scripty side, but it's still charming, and so you recommend it. Parthenope, you said is a big fat nope. You said it's
Yeah.
beautifully shot but rambling. The director isn't your favorite, you admit that, but this is a bad movie. You said it's the
Yeah.
least annoying of his movies on
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
thoughts, but you don't recommend Parthenope. The movie Armand, you said this is also a movie with great acting, compelling first hour, but you were saying the second hour and the ending weren't really quite as good and left you a little confused, but you recommend it for the amazing acting, even though you say the movie doesn't really work in the end. As far as streaming, you say Hollywood Black is fascinating and that if you watch it, you will learn a lot. And win
Yes.
or lose, you said Pixar just keeps on atop in itself.
Yeah.
And you say this is funny and cute and surprising. Their creativity is on full display here. You recommend Win or Lose, Disney Plus Pixar series coming out, I think you said next week.
Yes.
And your classic movie recommendation of the week is this one called Inherit the Wind. And this is, are you okay? Are you gonna make it?
Yes. You know what? I'm trying to suppress the cough. Just
Oh
getting
no.
over I'm just getting over a cold, and I'm drinking a lot of tea as I'm talking. But I
Oh,
thought, oh gee, yeah. Could you hear that? Oh geez, I thought
that's
I was
okay.
like, I
I'll
thought,
mute you.
okay.
I'll mute you for a second so you can keep on coughing. And then you say your classic movie recommendation is Inherit the Wind from 1960. It's pertinent to the current political climate. You said it wasn't a hit when it came out, but boy, it maybe because it questioned religion back then, but you said it really holds up 65 years status post release. It was prescient. We say that it's on Tubi and also on what's the other free streaming service? Both of them, at least one of them without commercials too. So Inherit the Wind, classic movie recommendation of the week. Cam, unmuting you. There you go.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'm glad you muted me because people would not have wanted to hear what just came out of my mouth.
It's
Uh,
the season to be sick, and you were just around all those people at that fun event. So
yeah. Well,
Mhm.
that happens. Yeah. So
Yeah,
at least it's not COVID. I was tested. It's a cold.
there
It's just a
you go.
cold. Yeah. Okay,
Tim
Kim. Well, it was.
Sika, thank you for
Yeah.
being here. We're at the movies with Tim Sika. I love that you're back, and I'll see you next Friday.
Yeah. See you next Friday, Kim. Thanks for having me. Have a good week.
Bye. Tim Sika, everybody. Love it when he comes on the show. Okay, we're running behind, but I do want to get to this story because uh it's Valentine's Day and these people are absolutely amazing. These people have been married for a long ass time. The longest marriage of a living couple The award goes to these two. Yeah. The Guinness record is now awarded to this couple from Brazil. They have been married for 84 years and 77 days. They got married in 1940. They now have the Guinness World Record. This is Manuel Angelim Dino. He is 105 years old, and his wife is 101. So she's just a baby. Maria de Sousa Dino. They they've been married for, again, 84 years, 77 days as of Valentine's Day. They met in 1936. They got married at the Chapel of Boa Ventura in Ceará, Brazil in 1940. Get this, they had 13 kids. 13. They now have 55 grandchildren. I don't even know how you keep track of all those birthdays. 13 kids, 55 grandkids, 54 great grandchildren. They have 12 great great grandchildren. Now they're the longest currently living married couple, but the longest marriage ever lasted for 88 years and 349 days. To a Canadian couple, David Hiller and Sarah Hiller. They were married in 1809. So they have the record for the longest marriage ever. This is the longest marriage for people that are currently alive. 105 and 101. Happy Valentine's Day to them. 84 years, 77 days, 13 kids, 55 grandkids, 54 great great, 12 great, or 54 great, 12 great great grandkids. Just wow. And they're looking at each other still. I have some more pictures of them. They look like they're happy, celebrating, like, yeah, we're doing it. We're married for a really long ass time. Here's a painting of them in their younger days. Amazing. Can you imagine? I made a joke like they must be tired of looking at each other in the show description, but doesn't look like they're tired of looking at each other. Does it? No. They still are loving it. So, it looks like they're both in wheelchairs, but 105 and 101, that's amazing. Congratulations to them and happy Valentine's Day. And just wow. That's wow. Okay, I think I'm doing one more story. I think I can do one more story, right? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, they got married at 6 years old. I don't think they are 6 years old. 84 years? Nah, looks like it though. Yeah, she was 16. That's crazy. Mama says my husband is from a family of 10. My in-laws have 20 grandkids. Number 21 is due in April. That's when you say, you know what, we love you. We can't buy 20 birthday presents. So I'll send you $5 in an envelope. Happy birthday. Something. SJ Lola's almost 38 years married. This is wonderful. Cece says, great genes. Yeah, think of all the people that are going to live so long. All their descendants, right? All right. Okay, now I want to do this story because I have been holding on to it for a couple of days. It turns out if you've ever been to Maui's Road to Hana, it's a beautiful drive, but it's ever since the pandemic been kind of a controversial tourist destination. There's so much to see, so much beauty on the road to Hana, but tourists haven't been the nicest. They're constantly clogging up the roadways. The people that live out there say it's always so lodged with traffic. If you have an emergency, it's really scary because there's no way to get quickly to the hospital or to wherever you need to be in an emergency. And people are not respectful. The ugly American tourist really comes out to play on the road to Hana, apparently. And the roads are overused and being beaten down by all the traffic they're getting. Now, the road to Hana could become a toll road. From mile marker 32 to mile marker 40, that section includes the Wainapanapa State Park, where reservations are required. Hana Town as well is on that stretch of road. The state residents who live there would, of course, be exempt from paying the tolls. The visitors would have to pay the toll on this toll road. The road to Hana has been marketed to visitors since the 1920s. The issues they have nowadays with people on the road to Hana: illegal parking on the highway. People get out of their cars and trespass on private property. Unlicensed commercial activity on the roadways as well. It is it's rough. They have created the Road to Hana Code of Conduct, and there's a list of rules for visitors that you're supposed to follow if you go here, but no one really follows that. And it's not really something that people apparently care about. The Hawaii Tourism Authority, they don't have a position currently on this measure. So I don't know. They're still thinking about whether they're going to do it. And it could be that this happens. I think the people that live out there would love to have this happen, because if you have to pay for it, maybe you think about, do I really want to go see this? Right? The seven, is it called the seven sacred pools, waterfalls that flow into each other, are off of the road to Hana as well. There's some beautiful things to see here, but yeah, you've got to be respectful when you go into places where people live. So I understand why they would want to do something like this. And if it's that heavily traveled and heavily used, then it seems to me like the tourists should pay to go see this so that they can afford to keep up the roads, maybe even widen the roads, perhaps create a road just for locals to alleviate the issue here. I don't know. Here's a picture of the traffic and how it looks sometimes. Yeah, it's a mess. The road to Hana. Expect a toll coming soon to a theater near you. Here's a story. This lady, she had a big birthday, and her one wish was on her birthday bucket list was to go to jail. She's a good girl. She's never been to jail before. She turned 104. These people, long living people. Her name is Loretta, and she told the workers at her nursing home that in New York that she wanted to celebrate her 104th birthday with a visit to the Livingston County Jail. And so the sheriff's office agreed to this request and said, bring her in. We'll give her a tour of the lockup facility. Before the tour, they had some coffee and some cake. And she told the sheriff the secret to living a long life is to mind your own business. She said the jail was a great time touring this facility, and they said we were so glad that we were able to make her birthday wishes come true. They had a lot of laughs. She was a great sport. They put her in a cell for a minute. They showed her the handcuffs. You imagine at 104, she just wanted to see what it looked like in there. She was curious. So happy birthday. Happy 104th to Loretta, who gets to go to jail. All right. I suppose I should let you get on with your Valentine's Day weekend. Before I do, I'm going to the chat. Oh, SJ Lola says we lived off Highway 17 for a few years, and the weekend beach traffic, yeah, with the valleys coming over, was horrendous in the summer. She said, I feel for the residents of the Hana Highway. Yeah, I absolutely do too. Ooh, seven sacred pools. Yeah, it's beautiful. So much fun. How much is the toll? They haven't said how much the toll would be. Don't know. No. It should be enough to have people think twice. I would say $10 maybe. I don't know. We'll see. SJ Lola says, I'm sure everyone breaks the rules. Vicky says, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Yeah. Judy says, it sounds like it needs to be a toll road for tourists. Absolutely. SJ Lola says, yeah, that highway is a hot mess. It's a gorgeous area, but the charging is a good idea. So yeah, I think so too. Mama says, oh yeah, that's amazing. How many grandkids and kids? I think I already married that, but that's awesome. Or I already said that. $100. It's Hawaii. You think they should charge $100? I don't think they'll charge $100. I think the people that make money from tourists on the road to Hana, I think they would have a problem with that. Yeah. Donald the Maine Coon says, I've always hated driving to Tahoe because the traffic is an absolute nightmare. Yeah. Rich says, the best things in life are free, Kim. Isn't that the truth? And this show is free, but you guys always step up and contribute, keeping us going over here and being able to afford the platform that we're on and everything else. And I have to say, Wes threw down almost $10 today. Really, really nice. I so appreciate it. Also, Scott R. Has contributed as well as Amy S. So those are the most recent that I can see on my screen. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Make it a really good one. Even if you don't have a Valentine, I'll be your Valentine. Maybe we're not hanging out in person, but we hung out today. So watch one of those movies that Tim was talking about or one of those series and have yourself a great Valentine's and make it as good as you can and have a really good weekend as well. If you are in the North Bay, there is a jazz show at the Mystic Theater in Petaluma, and it features the Petaluma High School Jazz Band. It's a fundraiser, and I think my daughter will be playing the saxophone, which is not, it's her instrument in the jazz band, interestingly, but it's not her instrument in the symphony. That's bassoon. And she might sing. So I'm not sure. We'll see how it works out. But again, that is Saturday night, tomorrow night at the Mystic Theater in Petaluma. It's not too expensive either. So if you're looking for something to do, come on out, see the jazz band and see the singers. All right. Have a great afternoon and a great Valentine's Day. And I will see you on Monday on YouTube on The Mark Thompson Show. Bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Makes me happy, makes me feel fun. Tiny bubbles, makes me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. Oh, here's to the golden moon, and here's to the silver sea, but mostly here's a toast to you and me. Tiny bubbles. Tiny bubbles, makes me warm all over, with the feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time.
I haven't picked him up yet, SJ Lolo, but I'll ask him. And I said I was going to be here on Monday, but I will not because Jacob's birthday is next week and we're going on a little family excursion to Monterey. So just to let you know, Monday I'll be absent. Hugs right back to you, Heather.